Okay, good morning, everyone. I was sitting down there listening to Suzanne to talk about brand integrity. As we just said, Lenovo is a brand has been built for 28 years, and now we're changing lanes. I want to tell you the details why and how. A little bit story for who's Lenovo. You may know or you may not know this company and been in the industry for 28 years. The brand campaign, actually, we introduced 2 years ago globally, and also, of course, some of the challenges of building the brand in China. The last one, I want to also show the innovative branding strategy and the tactics we're using to reshape up the brand in the market. This is kind of a busy chart, but brings us back to the time of the Lenovo Funding. In 1984, 11 scientists with 200,000 RMB, roughly about 25K US dollars back then, formed the company called Legend. Actually, at the very beginning, the name wasn't Legend. We used Legend later. So by 1984, the company was very small, 11 people. 10 years later, 1994, 10 years later, we were listed in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And then by 2005, we took by far the biggest and the boldest move to acquire the IBM PC division and form the new company. Actually, 3 years before that, Lenovo started the globalization efforts. We started to change the name from Legend to Lenovo. We took LE from Legend, called Legendary. We also acquired the Latin word novo, means innovation. So Legendary plus innovation, that's Lenovo. That's exactly 10 years ago. So we started to think about how can we be a global brand. So 2005, we acquired IBM PC division. But in that year, Lenovo was a company $3 billion only in revenue, where IBM PCD was $11 billion business. But they lost about few hundred million dollars. So a lot of people kind of are scared or concerned about this acquisition. They use the phrase of, a snake swallow elephant, show their concerns. But we proved actually this has been working ever since. So starting from 2009, 4 years in a row, when our chairman Yang Yuanqing returned as the CEO of the company, we started to show hyper-growth momentum ever since. So starting from 2009, in 14 quarters, we've been outpaced the market. And 9 out of the 14 were the fastest growing company in the top 5 brands in the world. Not only actually we succeeded with IBM integration, we also utilized the experience and the lesson we learned from the IBM integration into the next grade, the next steps. By year 2010, we formed the joint venture with NEC, the PC division of NEC. Japan is the 3rd largest PC market in the world. And it's a very difficult market. We've been in the Japan market with IBM, almost for 20 years. But with the joint venture formation, we took 26% of market share in Japan. And then we have a very strong footprint in Japan by using NEC brand, ThinkPad brand, and also IdeaPad brand, and Lenovo. So far, this business has been very, very successful, and we outpaced the market ever since the joint venture. We keep moving on. We also acquired a German manufacturing called Medium in the same year. Medium is the number 5, the 5th largest manufacturer in Germany, and they're also the 3rd largest brand for the consumer business in Europe. We took over this company, and we use the way to the synergize, and also we combined the global supply chain. Last quarter, we reported the first time that Lenovo become the number 1 brand in Germany. And if you look into the world PC market, the largest one is China, followed by US, Japan, and then it's Brazil, India, Russia. We now are the number 1 brand for 5 out of the top 10 markets in the world. And we keep moving on. This year we also announced a deal with CCE, the 5th largest PC manufacturer in Brazil. We acquired CCE, now with the 3rd largest brand in Brazil in terms of market share. We also formed a joint venture with the EMC, with iOmega, the division from EMC, to attack the home and the SMB storage market. We also acquired Stoneware in North America to introduce the cloud services to the customers. So if you look back on the 7-year horizon, we have been succeeded with IBM integration, and then we'll keep moving on and utilize the acquisition as one of the key strategies for us to grow in the markets, both for emerging markets and also for the mature markets. So if you look into the right-hand chart, it's our strategy we formed from 2009. We got a protect and attack strategy. So together with acquisition, we also want to protect China. 4 years ago, China, we had 28% market share. And last quarter, actually last year, we had a 35% market share in China alone. The number 2 to number 6 adding together had less than 35% market share. So we're a dominating player in China already. So we're number 1 in China, and also we're number 1 in Japan, and number 4 brands in America. So the protect strategy is working very well for China. And on the attack side is we want to invest substantially to build a brand, build a channel structures, to expand our brand presence in the emerging markets. So emerging markets are those like Russia, Brazil, India, South Africa, you name them. Out of the North America, European, Japan, and we call them the emerging markets. They will be attacking the emerging market, both with acquisition in Brazil and also with our organic growth. We were number 1 brand in India, actually starting from 2 quarters ago. We're number 1 in India already. And last quarter, we also become number 1 in Russia. So India and Russia, we tried organic growth. We built our channel, we introduced the brand, we introduced our products to those markets, and we build step by step. I still remember actually I was stationed in Russia for 2 years, starting from 2009. And when I took over Russia operation, we were 0.7% market share in Russia. And when last quarter, and we're 14.6% market share in Russia, number 1. It took us 3 years' time to build a brand in a specific market like Russia. Other than being number 1 in the PC market, if you look into the Gartner report last quarter, Lenovo was number 1 PC player in terms of market share. And we're 0.2% market share ahead of our competition, HP. And our dream actually is not just become a PC manufacturer. We want to extend our glory, our success in the PC Plus era. What is PC Plus? We believe that for the devices who share the same infrastructure, you have a CPU, you have a memory, you have an OS, you have a user interface, can also be called as PC Plus devices. So if you have a smartphone, the smartphone, you have a CPU, you have a memory, you have Android. Actually, the Android is the same Android you'll be using with smart TV, which is a 55-inch screen. So regardless of the size of the screen, as long as you have the same infrastructure for your device, that's all PC Plus. So we have been number 1 in the PC market. How can we be number 1 in the PC Plus categories? How can we become number 1 in the new era? We launched the campaign actually 3 years ago worldwide. By 2010, Lenovo had probably around 50% brand awareness in the world, it's the rest of the world, because in China it's a very different story. So by 2010, we're 50% brand awareness, and we launched a campaign called Lenovo Brand 3.0. And in 2-year time, we increased our brand awareness by 10% in the major markets, as I mentioned, like India, like Russia, like Brazil. Our brand awareness actually was close to 70% for last quarter survey. We made a very clear tagline by using this campaign. We make the tools, you make them do. Lenovo for those who do. We call them for those who do a campaign. If you happen to run into those visuals like this, they're kind of a very busy chart, but if you really drill down to the argument, we're saying, we give you the tools so that it can make your work. So we have really very clear productivity claim. If I have shown you a diagram with horizontal line goes for the productivity, we have a very strong productivity tool like ThinkPad. If your business professionals use ThinkPad forever, so that is the productivity line we've been claiming worldwide out of China. And then, but vertically, there's the other line called lifestyle. So the competition like Apple, Samsung, they all claim that they're the number one choice of the choice for the lifestyle. But globally, because we still suffer low brand awareness, so we want to utilize the ThinkPad asset to go for productivity. So we use the campaign to claim that we're the productivity tool so that when you use ThinkPad or Lenovo products, will help you to fulfill your dreams. But China will be very different. From the recent survey we did for the past 3 years, with sample size over 10,000, we found out we had actually 99.7 to 99.8% brand awareness. So if you stop 100 people on the street in China, doesn't matter it's Beijing, Shanghai, or Dongguan, the tier 5 city, 1 hour drive from here, they all know who's Lenovo. They know Lenovo is doing computer business. But other than brand awareness, when you have almost 100% brand awareness, what's the next? We call them the favorability, meaning that if you're asking people, what's the brand you love? The people give you 1 or 2 brands. So Lenovo actually will be looking into the favorability rather than the brand awareness. So this busy table shows you the survey we did last year. I will just mention a few brands. The top of mind, we call it TOM, meaning that if we ask people, give me 1 brand in the 3C categories, computer, communications, consumer electronics, give me 1 brand. So 40 people out of 100, they answer Lenovo. They also have interesting funding. We have 17 people answer Apple. This is 3C, this is computer, communications, and consumer electronics. 11 people answer Samsung. But if you keep asking them, tell me 1 brand which you love most. 29 out of 100 responded Lenovo. And 28 get the answer Apple. That's in China. This is China across the board for tier 1 cities of Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and up to the villages. And if you look into this table indicates that, yeah, we're very famous in China. We're the number 1 brand for computers. We're number 1 brand for combined 3C categories. But we're very close to the competition in the favorability, meaning that can you build a brand where the people will love? They're proud to own, they're proud to use. They're proud to use the product to show off. So then we also did a poetry for the brand. This is very interesting because you show the table for the top executives. Okay, fine, the number 40, 29, 28. But once we give them the poetry, who's Lenovo? We found out the people, they answered us, okay, well, Lenovo is the middle-aged man. It's practical, accessible, very, very good cost performance, good for the value, and very good quality, reliable, because you use ThinkPad, they never break down, and great services. Of course, if you want to buy a computer, you want to use the computer for 5 years, you want to be sure that number 1, that machine will never crash, because your sensitive data, important information, no stored into the computer. And also, once you get a problem, and people will come to help you to fix the problem. So Uncle Lenovo image, that's pretty good for the computer users, isn't it? So when I showed this chart to the management team, they all laughed, very easily. Yeah, that's us. Okay, very good. Well, if you keep moving on, if you talk about the PC Plus, primarily, for example, smartphone, by 2010, China had 32 million smartphone users. Last year, 2011, that number grew into 72 million. In the first 6 months of this year, we sold 98 million smartphones. So the forecast, whatever the survey says, well, this year would have 210, 200, maybe 200 million smartphones sold in China. China is a 72 million PC market, and we'd have 200 million smartphones. Well, if we want to move into the PC Plus era, we have to consider how can we be the winner? How can we be the number 1 brand in a smartphone like this? We're currently number 2 smartphone brand in China, right after Samsung. We're number 2 already. But if you look into the smartphone market, it's very different. The survey indicates that average Chinese switch or replace their phone every 18 months. For the age under 35, every 12 months. And for the age of 30, every 6 to 8 months, the young generation, the young consumers would switch a phone. Well, let's make a pose. For computers, you want to use for 4 or 5 years. So reliability, quality, something you can trust. Trustworthy is number one you got to consider. But if you were to change your smartphone every 6 months, you'll be looking to the style, design, fashion, something you like, but rather than reliability, because you don't care. You have a problem, you buy a new phone. So all of a sudden, we believe that we start to realize whatever we have done to build Lenovo brand as our strength means little to the new category when we compete. When you look into Apple, Samsung, compare with the first generation smartphone we had in China, we pretty much emphasize or focus on the reliability, performance, the serviceability. But if you look into Samsung and Apple, those brands, they give you a very edgy design, a stylish design. You look at the product, look and feel, it's pretty fashionable, very stylish. So if you look into the PC Plus era, our challenge is to build the price premium or the brand premium across the board, not only for PC, but also for smartphones, for tablets, and also for smart TVs. And our age group, starting from 18 years old up to 45-year-old. So we have to be sure that we have a brand with those characters to attract the young generations. And also we still keep the sense of commercial users so that they will still using ThinkPad. Worldwide campaign, as I mentioned earlier, we use for those who do campaign, the do equals productivity. So in China, we made a little bit of modification. We want to elaborate this do into creativity. And also, our CEO, Mr. Yang, also realized that we have something to do. Once we enter into the PC era, the new competition, the new arena, we have to do something differently. So he basically told us, all the marketeers in Lenovo, you need to rebuild Lenovo brand. We've been thinking about, expand, extend, modify, elevate. But rebuild is a very strong word, meaning that we have something we need to restructure, rethink, and apply different tactics to add different characters to the brand. What we're going to do, and how can we change the brand, rebuild a brand, and still keep the brand essence in the commercial world and expand this brand influence, impact to the young generations. We look into the brand anthem or the global brand campaign because we're a global company. You cannot just say, well, we claim one thing in the rest of the world, and then in China we have very different strategy. We apply totally different things. So we have to be consistent in line with the global image. So we look into this again. We create tools, you make them do Lenovo for those who do. And we add a little bit of things into this. And in China, we use this tagline, we create tools, you make them do, and do in style. And what is doing style? Doing style meaning that, I will tell you later. But with the three words adding into this brand argument, we expand our brand coverage, not only from the productivity, horizontally, but also build something we can really challenge the competition with the leaders in this market in the lifestyle part. So we call them the productivity and the lifestyle. We tried 3 different marketing tactics: fashion marketing, sports marketing, and entertainment marketing. The style of fashion, the style of sports, and the style of entertainment. You may not know that actually Lenovo was a sponsor of 5 marathon races in China: Lanzhou, Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, and the coming Xiamen. And we have invested heavily in the sports marketing because we have done a survey. The young generation, 80s and 90s, there's the top 5 things they'll be looking into. Number 1 is social, and number 2 actually is the fashion. And both entertainment and sports were listed in the top 5 most interest elements for the young generations. So we try to use different tactics to add different brand characters to Lenovo brand. So this is the The TVC we designed, actually we created for the smartphone promotion. We had a smartphone, we introduced 5 months ago, and we went out and talked to the author. I don't know if you guys know this individual. His name is Mr. Cole, and he got a nickname as Nine Knives. He's an author, and also he is a director. So his story was very interesting. He wrote a book, and the book was very successful. And then he went down to shoot the book into the movie as a director. And his story is really about, he got a dream, and he take guts to do it, and then fulfill the dream. So we used the creativity of Do, and use his story to inspire the young generation that when you have a dream, you can take efforts, you can take courage, you start to do it, to fulfill your dreams. So the first campaign we used called Style of Do is the creativity of Do and to promote our products. We also tried something different. When we introduced our Ultrabook, was a pretty thin and light product from Lenovo notebook, we used the attitude of Do. We employed Yang Liping, who's the most famous dancer in China. We used her story to talk about, with the attitude, you never give up. You insist in improving your performance every day. After 30, 40 years, you will become the one. So we use her story to inspire the individuals who strongly believe in attitude and the consistency and never give up. So we use Ms. Yang as the one to feature our products. And we'll shoot a TVC in the theater and put on the movie stations and also the TV stations. So these efforts also bring us the sense of attitude. So if you're an individual, it doesn't matter you're young or senior, you still can have an attitude. So other than creativity, we also claim attitude, consistency, insisting, never give up. The other one actually we also employed field photographers. Those are young generation, very active photographers to shoot photos for us. This second campaign has been very successful with the young generations, because if you're age of 20 or 25, you start shooting, filming, and then you find a story about people who's in your age, supported by Lenovo, and they made great things. They made great achievements in their specific areas. So we employ different tactics. We want to convey the message that this brand not only will serve commercial customers to improve your productivity, but also with individuals, we have the creativity claim that by using Lenovo, you can enhance your creativity. The last one I also want to show you is about the fashion marketing. The people may ask, well, what's Lenovo to do with fashion? But how can we cross the line from technology to fashion? We tried different areas, we tried different cases where we have the crossover between technology and the fashion. We use fashion show to carry over our products. On October 12th, 2 months ago, we introduced our new line of product called Yoga, which is the notebook computer, but it can flip over the screen, and then computer become a touchpad, it's a tablet. It's the crossover in between a standard notebook and into a tablet. So we we invited 2 designers from China to design fashion clothes, and then we used a tea table to introduce our products. We employed this fashion marketing tactics, introduce a product with technology. I have a video of 3 minutes. Why don't we just play the video right now, please?
我最近对科技很着迷，很多前所未见的技术给了我很多新的创作灵感。
我想通过我的作品去唤醒沉睡中的人们，去拥抱改变。
This is the first time we did not use PPT presentation. We did not invite a product manager to come on the stage to talk about CPU, memory, battery life, whatever. And internally, we had a lot of questions. But 3 days after we had this campaign, we had 8 million people search the yoga online. And we had close to 10,000 orders, online orders. We call it pre-sales because you didn't see the product. You got to pay in full to get in queue to wait to get a product. So we had almost 10,000 customers. They paid in full and wait for it to be shipped in the next 2 weeks. Ever since, yoga has been sold out. Now we have a problem to catch up the supply. And this is the first time we did the product launch event. And this video, actually, we have 7 cuts, 7 different versions. We sent to the TV stations of 26 provinces. As of last Friday, we had airtime of 2,800 minutes, not seconds, 2,800 minutes, and we didn't pay for this. You cannot buy the TV airtime for 2,800 minutes. That'll cost you, I don't know, million or $1 billion, whatever. But because of the way we did it, and people, they started to think, wow, this is new Lenovo. This is the new brand with new characters. And not only our consumers were surprised, media was surprised, TV stations were surprised too. That's the reason why we have so many attention from the public and also from the media group. And this would give us a lot of earned media. So by far, by all means, actually, this company has surpassed all the KPI we have set at the very beginning. Why are we doing this? Why would we want to do this? Computers is an overly crowded market. We have 20 players as of now competing with Lenovo in the computer area. Not actually even for computer. If we mention PC Plus, we had 47 brands, notable brands globally, competing in the 3C area. So we have to think about a way that we can really communicate our brand value to the consumers in the way they love, in the way they enjoy. And that's the reason we're trying the fashion marketing, sports marketing, and entertainment marketing, with one purpose that consumers and customers start to believe they can buy Lenovo not only for computers, but also for their smartphones, tablets, and even smart TV. We'll keep doing in style, or we'll keep branding in style, because we believe this is the market only the most loved brand can survive. and we're the #1 PC player in the world. We're far from #1 or the most valuable brand in the world. If you look into the most valuable brand list, the top 100, Lenovo's not there. I think to get there would require a lot of courage and efforts, and we're on the way. Thanks a lot.